Hey everyone, I have an incredible guest here today. Her name is Jody Powers. She is the founder of Liberty Station. And you might be asking, what is Liberty Station? If you haven't heard me talk about it before, we're going to go into it right now. Here is Jody. Hey Jody, how are you?
Hello, good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, I know you've gotten a little bit of media coverage locally and stuff because your whole place is just really captured my heart and so many people around the Middle Tennessee state. What is Liberty Station? I know it's a little cafe here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Tell us a little bit about it, just kind of an overview.
Okay, so it's really a job training facility that's open to the public for breakfast and lunch. We train adults with disabilities or those with other types of employment obstacles. We train them in food service, hospitality, barista, bakery, custodial, and retail training. So it's a paid internship. We train throughout the week, but we're only open to the public Wednesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 1:30. So we have occupational therapy staff that helps train and assess and helps place them out in community jobs. So it's not long-term employment necessarily, although we did hire some of our interns to be on our staff. But it's mainly just a transition period where they can learn at their best rate, the way that they can learn best to be successful. And then we help transition them into community jobs where we help assess that potential employer's atmosphere and situation and kind of help them as they transition to a regular job out in the community.
Oh wow, that's really cool. How does like somebody, whatever kind of intellectual disability or disability they have, how do they uh, find out about you or apply? Is it
Okay, so we have a website, libertiesstationtn.org, and we have our intern application there, whether it's a disability or whether it's an other employment barrier like incarceration or rehab situation. So we have two types of applications, and they just need to call and schedule a time to come visit the facility and meet with our trainers, and they'll do a quick interview and just kind of assess their skill level to see if it'd be a good fit. So,
awesome? That is awesome. How many people do you have on total there? You have a small staff and then the rest of the workers. How many do you have?
so we have three part-time staff, management staff. That are paid, and two others that are volunteer. Each week they just come help train. Their occupational therapists also. Right now, I believe we have 17 interns. We have three transitioning out currently, and three more we just hired to come on board. So it's a constant in and out flow where, we have new ones coming in and graduating the ones that have been there long enough to be successful out in their long-term employment.
That's awesome. Like you said you have three going out. What types of jobs are they getting?
So most of them are getting food service. We do have one going to a daycare,
Okay.
a coffee shop. We have one doing maintenance at a church. So it's a variety, but mainly food related.
Okay. That is really cool.
Mhm.
Well, um, Liberty Station, where did that name come from? Uh,
So, being in an old automotive service garage, station seemed like a good fit, but I tried to think of a name that would encompass us giving these interns their independence and freedom. And it just seemed like Liberty was a good fit. And it's one of my granddaughter's names, so that was a perk
oh,
too. But it's really just to express the independence and freedom that we're giving these adults that want to, have meaningful employment.
that is so cool. I know I've been there a few times and I have an extra heart for those with Down syndrome, as you know. And I think you have three on staff with Down syndrome and you have others, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, with autism, ADHD, and other things like that.
Yeah, so we have a multitude of disabilities, even wheelchairs. We had one that was deaf, cerebral palsy. We've had a couple of those, but most of them on the autism spectrum. Actually, it is the largest minority group in the world is those with disabilities, which is astonishing. But we didn't want to just train them in a job where they could, do that somewhere else. We wanted to be a facility where they would get specialized training by those in a specialized field that could help them learn in the way that's best for each individual, and not just a broad way of training, but one that really caters to each person. And the internships range from 6 months to a year and a half, on average 12 months. That's the goal. So it's very much a case-by-case basis.
Gotcha. How long have you been open?
We've been open a year and a half, but we were training off-site before our building was ready. So we've probably been in training for probably 2.5 years.
Wow. Well, let's take a quick tour of it. I was there and I got to meet one of your staff, Judy. Judy's going to give us a quick tour right now.
Okay.
And this is Judy. She's going to take us around Liberty Station.
This is where you place your orders. And we have specialty coffees. We have cookies, home-baked cookies that we make fresh in our kitchen. And this is where you would place your order, and then you would have a seat, and food is brought out to you.
And we have a special worker over here. Who is this? Come over here. This is Matea.
I am Matea. I am the barista and the food service team leader here at Liberty Station.
Wow. How long have you been here?
Almost 2 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is our specialty coffees, which Matea is one of our baristas. So you can come in and get any of the nice specialty coffees made with our special blended coffee.
Awesome. Okay, let's go see how they make them, where they make them.
This was what Liberty Station looked like originally, and all that you see has come about as a result of many people's donated materials and time that have created what you see here today that started with this.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty amazing makeover.
That is amazing.
And this area is also the space can be rented for an event. We use it for overflow seating or for meetings that anybody comes in and wants to set up and have a meeting.
This is nice.
We have a food truck that was donated to us by Demas family, and we use it for training and have some future thoughts in mind as to other ways to use it.
That's exciting. So exciting. Awesome. Now we got, this is like an outdoor, this can be rented and
You can rent this or the cafe or both.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Let's go check out the dining room one more time, and we'll check out our fancy camera guy here. Now our camera guy, James. Hey James, how are you?
I am James Miller. I am the special camera guy, the whole county.
That's awesome. Well, you're an awesome friend and an awesome worker, I bet too. You do a lot of the stuff here?
I do serving typical food at the soup station, and other people like the food to make purchase and the other resources for them to people.
That's awesome. Look at this food. Wow, that's an incredible place. That is awesome. How did you come up with this idea of doing something like this for people with disabilities? Do you have anybody in your family with an intellectual disability or anything?
Not that I know
What
of.
brought this on your heart?
So I started another nonprofit 10 years ago, and I knew from day one that I wanted our main volunteer source to be adults with disabilities. And when they would come from different organizations in town to volunteer, a lot of them would ask at the end of the day if they could have a job there. And the more they asked over time, I realized there's a gap between leaving high school and their adult life. And, I have seen adults with disabilities bagging groceries or, working in the back of a warehouse, but not everybody wants to do those two jobs. And so
Right.
I just felt like the Lord was saying, here's a great space in this building that was vacant for a couple years near the original nonprofit, and just felt led to start this social enterprise where we could train them for jobs and even hire some ourselves. And so it's been amazing just to see the transformation from when they walk in the door. They'll hardly look you in the eye, and during the interview they often look to their parents to answer for them. But
So it started kind of, they kind of came to you. You had a place
Yes.
called Amelia's Closet, I think, and they came to
Yes.
you wanting a job. Wow.
Yes. So it's incredible just to see their transformation when
Yeah.
they're able to advance at their own rate. But I know acceptance is the best environment for growth. And
Absolutely.
a lot of these parents are even amazed at what their kids are doing.
Yeah. I remember the first time being there, and I just felt the warmth of everybody. And I first time I got to meet James, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool.
Right.
Some of them they know me, and that makes me feel good as well. And just seeing them do their thing, it's really cool. You've got to stop by. Murfreesboro's on the way in and out of Nashville, so definitely got to check this place out. It's really, really cool, and I'm so glad it exists. What does your family think about this whole thing? When you had this idea, they're like, I want to start this. I mean, what was that dinner table conversation like?
Well, I was apprehensive in sharing it, first of all, because Amelia's Closet was already a big stretch for me because I'm a graphic designer.
Right.
Knew nothing about starting a nonprofit. I literally Googled, how do you start a nonprofit? Just clueless. But it just became so clear and evident this was the path I needed to take next. And my parents and my husband and kids, they didn't think I was crazy, but they thought it was definitely, I guess, a much bigger stretch for sure, in all the ways. Financially, like, we had no clue how we were going to pay for this, how we were going to staff it. We're just trusting God to bring everything into place, and He has. But my husband, when I told him, he said, well, this is too crazy not to be from God, because as a small nonprofit leader, this is much bigger than any of us had really anticipated. And I knew there was a need, but I had no idea how big a need until we started kind of letting parents in the disability community know. And a lot of them, walking through the building during renovations just would cry, saying, you do not realize the impact this will make.
God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. And I just love the whole idea. There should be a Liberty Station type of cafe in every town, I believe. A lot of people may be watching this from all over the place, but they want to visit, and they probably will never get to Nashville or Tennessee. So they want to know how they can help. How can anybody just help besides coming in and buying a great grilled cheese?
Yes. So a lot of people don't realize that we are a nonprofit social enterprise. So we rely mainly on donations, financial donations from the community. We are applying for grants and things like that, and we do receive some. But it'll be a long time before grilled cheese can sustain us financially, because we do pay our interns well. But the best help people can do for us would be just spread the word about what we're doing, and they can donate financially online at our website or Facebook or Instagram. And we have a Patriot sponsorship opportunity. You've seen that big wooden flag on the wall where someone can donate and get Their verbiage, in honor or memory of someone engraved on those blocks of wood on the wall. It's a 6 foot by 16 foot flag. So that's a sponsorship opportunity.
What was Jody like before all this? What was your prior life like? I know you've been married a while. I've talked to your husband a few times.
Well, I was a military brat. My dad was in the Air Force for 21 years. We moved here to Middle Tennessee when I was 18, and I started doing graphic design work right out of high school. So I guess that was my career, was in graphic design. I taught photojournalism at a high school and coached fast pitch softball for a girls team, high school girls team, for 11 years.
Oh, wow.
And then when I resigned my graphic design position, I'd held that same job for 19 years out of the 30 some years of doing graphic design. I just thought I would be a stay-at-home grandmother because my kids both had kids, but God had other plans and reminded me of the burden I had years ago about seeing women from jail visit our church and what they were wearing. And so prior to starting that nonprofit 10 years ago now, I was pretty much just a homebody and always been shy and kind of an introvert my whole life. And so this has definitely pushed me outside my comfort zone. And I feel like that's where God wants us, is, not to feel like, we got this, we don't need him, but,
Right.
To stretch ourselves and, just be obedient and let him worry about the results. So after starting Millie's Closet and wanting adults with disabilities to be the main volunteer, I saw a Lester Holt special on the national news about a movie theater in Connecticut called the Prospector Theater, where the owner was hiring adults with disabilities because her sister had Down syndrome.
Oh, wow.
And, she said it so well that, adults with disabilities are tired of going to the park. They want meaningful work and to feel productive and to give back. And that's when I knew I, wanted to help them do the same thing. And, a lot of our interns say they, want a job so that they can give to other people. And, several of them even donate to us. And, now they have their own money and they can shop for, their families' birthdays. And it's just neat to see how things, we take for granted are so special to them. And that's one thing that all the management staff comments about is, things that we don't think much of. Their childlike wonder at all the things makes everything so special, just the littlest things. We've had some interns nearly cry when you give them their uniform or their name tag because they've never had something like that, to show that they have so much pride and that they're accepted and wanted.
Well, I can see it in their face on pictures you submit on Facebook. You can tell it. I'm like, all they got was a hat. But it's the world to them. Absolute world, to feel included and to have, like, hey, I did something. I'm included in something.
Right.
Yeah, you can see it all over.
And they really take such pride in coming and showing up and being on time and just have a sense of accomplishment, definitely at the end of the day. And they all say their best days are when we're busy, They love to be productive and feel like they're, making a difference.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad, you listened to God's voice and that little spark that lit this, because you ever just sit back and look back like, wow, it started here and now we're here. And we still need to keep going, but I'm sure it takes your breath away a little bit just to sit and look back.
It does. Sometimes I walk in and just can't believe how far we've come. And a lot of the interns have great ideas. They've given us suggestions on how to do certain things in the kitchen different. And it's just great to see that we're still evolving as a startup. The things that, we're creating in the kitchen are amazing. Customers don't have to decide, should we go support a good cause or should we go get something really good for lunch? Like, we're the place for both.
So you have soup and sandwich. Now you have, did I hear right? You have breakfast? Or?
Yeah, so we are serving bakery items from 9:30 to 10:30, and then we start taking sandwich orders. But we have 3 different bakeries bringing items to Liberty Station that we sell, and we hope to increase our staff for mornings soon, where we can do the breakfast grilled cheese sandwiches, where you can add an egg to the ones we already offer, or some of the other breakfast sandwiches we've come up with. But right now it's muffins, and we have our fried pies and our cinnamon rolls, and the cookies that we bake from scratch is what's in the morning. And of course, our barista Matea is, there and doing all the specialty coffee drinks too. And we have yogurt parfaits also. And then we do the, salads and veggie wraps and, different things. So we do have some healthier options, but we think that, our grilled cheese is only half the calories because we're a social enterprise.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. The menu is pretty, I've tried not everything on the menu, but I've tried a lot of it, and it's superb. I remember when I took that tour and looked around in the kitchen, I just stood there and could see everybody doing their thing. Mm-hmm. And I seen the staff just so patient and so helpful with when someone had a little question about something or anything. It was like a well-oiled machine. I'm like, you don't see this in every kitchen at all.
Right.
I mean, a lot of kitchens do, but mm-hmm. I was pretty floored. I'm like, wow, they just all know what they're doing, and it's really impressive as well. But yes, if I got the website here, I also include it depending on where you're watching this. You can go check it out. They have a Facebook page which you can follow as well. And if you're in the area and you can't make it, but follow their Facebook page and check them out. And any last words, Jody, you want to say besides come check us out and check out our website?
I just thank people for being supportive and interested in what we're doing, but also, just to encourage other business owners to be inclusive with adults with disabilities. I think if they just give them a chance, they'll be pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks, Jody. I appreciate you coming on and sharing us a little bit about Liberty Station. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.